SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Doing good. Fire away.
Well, first of all, I guess, general impression of being a game week and finally getting back on the field after so long, it seems like.
I think obviously from the players all the way through the coaches, everybody's excited to finally be here. Seems like camp surprisingly went through fairly fast. Seemed to me camp went through pretty quick. This last week, though, always has a tendency to drag on, but I think you can still see the excitement in our players, and finally they're to the point now where they sort of see what we've been working for, and I think they're ready to go. I see a great attention to detail through the first half of this week.
Coach, can you tell me what stands out to you most about Bowling Green when you watch their film, sir?
I think you look at the last 3 games of their season last year, which they won, finished on a very positive note. I think they probably were a little bit more basic what they did. They did it better. They flew around. Probably it's a big thing, though. They flew around those last 3 games and were very effective defensively. So, they're only returning a few stars, but they are returning a lot of guys with experience. So, I think they're going to try and pick up where they left off.
Harlan talked about the defense tweaking things a little bit, not getting away from your identity, but just kind of changing the way things work a little bit. Is that kind of the same approach offensively, and will it appear different to people this year?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we've always tried to tweak things every year. You can't stay status quo. Everybody's trying new things and trying to figure you out. From a defensive point of view. So we've tweaked some things, and when we get to those, if we get to those things, we'll just sort of wait and see. But we're always looking to expand.
How much of that too is kind of adjusting to your personnel? What they do well as maybe opposed to what somebody
that's part of it. That's part of it. You always try and get the ball in your playmakers' hands, and finding new ways to do that is part of what we do as a staff.
How much does Brian's athleticism help that and ability to do different things?
Good. Yeah, he's probably the most athletic quarterback we've had here in our time, and we've always had, I shouldn't say always, but the last 4 or 5 years we've had some quarterback runs in our offense. It's just a matter of picking and choosing how often you want to use those. I think Brian, however, has the ability and probably the want to a little bit more to pull the ball down when he's sitting in the pocket and run and create things that way. So I'll be anxious to see how he uses that, but we're excited to see that.
Are there portions of your playbook, things you wanted to do that weren't really available to you last year with Brian being fairly young, that you now can expand into this fall, that you feel comfortable doing that?
Brian's still young. He started a couple games. He started a couple games, and unfortunately, he's going to go through some first-time starter mistakes as well. We expect that, and obviously we want to minimize those. But he missed a great deal in getting injured and not being able to go through those pains and struggles the last 5 games or whatever it was last year. So, but at the same time, he's able to handle a lot. So we're anxious to see how he handles everything. But again, don't expect him to come out and be a polished product just yet.
With so much newness on your side of the ball in particular, do you have to dial things back for so many young guys, or are there something that you maybe need to build to?
No, we've tried to. We've tried starting last spring to maybe not simplify, but be a little bit slower in our install. So there's no doubt we're going to be younger, and that's going to be a key to how we do this Saturday and throughout the season, is how well those young guys pick things up. So we've tried to tailor things around those guys.
One of your leaders told me that he thought Gerald Holmes had the best camp of any player on this team. Do you agree with that?
Gerald's had a great camp. Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree. We've had a lot of guys that have performed very well, but that's one guy's opinion. I think he's had a very good camp. Excited about him, absolutely.
How's the tight end picture looking? Not only as the starter in a new role, but the 2 and the 3 and the 4 are new guys.
I think we have some depth there. I think we have some athleticism. probably a little bit more speed than we've had there. But like the other positions, we're going to be young. But we feel like we have at least 3 guys going into this game that can play for us and, possibly 4. So feel good about it. It's just another position that is going to be young.
I feel like we've talked about this for a couple of years now, the running backs and who's getting carries and getting into a rhythm, that sort of stuff. And Mark yesterday was pretty clear that it was, if you get 2 reps, 3 carries, whatever it is, you got to produce. Is that the same mentality with the guys, or do they have a little different approach this year? Like, we just got to get it done?
I think they know that, we're always going to go with a hot hand. And I think, there's only so many footballs to go around. What I don't want them doing is pressing and trying to create things and make big plays all the time. I think they have to stay within themselves. If they don't break out a run in their first series, they just need to play their game, and their time will come again. It's not like they have to make a big play every time they touch the football. But bottom line is we're gonna play guys that are producing.
You talk to them too about that too, because I think people look at it and think your running backs are your experienced guys who produced. Do you try and keep them from putting too much on themselves?
Yeah,
you got to get it all done on a.
Yeah, we do. And those guys, I think, it's sort of been that way for years, and I don't think it's anything different. Those guys are always competing, and it's pretty much the same this year as it's been the last couple of years as far as the talent level was all there with all 3 of them. So it's just depending on the situation, probably who's going to be out there playing for us.
Is Colin Lucas giving you what you need at fullback, or is Palangi still pushing him? We haven't seen a lot of competitions at fullback necessarily over the years, but is that a competition still, or is that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Palangi came in here with some experience from his previous stops, but he got a late start on things. Was not in here to start off with, so he's been sort of catching up a little bit. To answer your question, Colin Lucas, happy where he's at. He knows what he had to do, knew what he had to do coming into the season to be the guy. And, he's done a pretty good job of it. So I think he's in position right now to sort of take over and be that guy. And Joe's still nipping at his heels. So I think they're both in position to play for us.
Do you guys, I guess, from the perspective of not maybe having some outside expectations this year compared to previous years, I mean, how have you guys used that as motivation?
Well, I guess we Coach mentioned the other day, you're either the hunted or the hunter, and we've been hunted for years, and I think obviously this year we're no longer that, we're the hunter. So I think that with the newness of our players, I think guys getting out there for the first time, the excitement of that, I think it's going to be worked to our benefit.
Does it kind of feel back maybe to the first couple of years that you guys were here a little bit, like not necessarily a build, but a rebuild?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, probably has. I mean, we sort of felt like had to go back to basics a little bit from a teaching standpoint, fundamentals, especially being so young. So I think we've done some of that, yes.
Anything else, Coach?
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.